Stuck on the assembly line, the little tramp's world turns upside down when his defense of a homeless woman gets him in trouble with the law. Can he stay out of trouble long enough to land a job and finally provide for the woman of his dreams? Modern Times was released on February 25th, 1936. Inspired by the terrible conditions he saw during the Great Depression and an enlightening conversation with Mahatma Gandhi about modern technology, Modern Times marks the end of Charlie Chaplin's iconic character, the Little Tramp. The film was well reviewed, but not without controversy. Many saw Chaplin's continuing empathy for the poor and critique of the upper class as communist propaganda. It was in fact banned in Nazi Germany because of this fact. Others insisted that the film was apolitical. Journalist Graham Greene wrote that Chaplin merely presented things as they were without providing a solution. But that was just it. The film portrayed that being in jail was better than being on the streets. Whether it was an intentional critique of capitalism or merely just presenting things the way they were, it was a huge box office hit, resonating with people and becoming one of the highest grossing films of 1936. Personally, I don't know how you couldn't see the fade from sheep to people going to work and think it isn't an intentional critique of capitalism, but you know. Something that's super interesting to me about Charlie Chaplin's work was how it allowed him to be an international star because of how universal it was. I mean, you didn't need to understand any language to understand what was going on. I mean, at this point it was like, what, 8 years after Singing Man? Or what, the jazz singer? The jazz singer, 1927, yeah. So this was nearly 9 years after the first talkie premiered, and I'm so glad that he continued making silent films because I really think that this character works better in silence. Now there's an incredible notable exception to this at the end of the film, which is such a fitting send-off to the character. He ends up just singing gibberish, which is just it's so good. It's so good. And he just proves over and over again that he's a master of the craft. He doesn't need dialogue to make the best thing you've ever seen. Okay. Best part is that is actually him singing, and the song is catchy as hell. While the ending of the film is iconically hopeful, the 40s would be a troubling time for Chaplin, as the left-leaning views on display in this film got the attention of J. Edgar Hoover, the leading force of the Hollywood blacklist that would eventually lead to Chaplin's exile from the United States. We'll talk more about that on the next episode when we cover The Great Dictator, but for now, let's appreciate the craft on display in Modern Times that brought so much hope to so many during a dark time in the United States history.